Let's start with a chilling truth. Ignore the next 5 minutes and you could find yourself strapped to a hospital bed, heart racing in panic, surrounded by a haunting chorus of medical devices beeping your life away. Tubes run from your veins and you stare helplessly at the sterile ceiling, wondering how something as seemingly innocent as a handful of nuts brought you to the brink of a cardiovascular nightmare. Yes, you heard right, nuts. Those tiny crunchy snacks, casually sitting on your kitchen counter or nestled in your office drawer, could silently be plotting your downfall. For older adults, the line between health and crisis is frighteningly thin. One variety of nut might fortify your heart and sharpen your brain, while another quietly clogs your arteries, ignites inflammation, and erodes your mental sharpness. Skeptical? Think again. This isn't just another exaggerated health scare. This is science-backed reality. Consider this terrifyingly true scenario. Susan W., a vibrant 72-year-old piano teacher, believed she was doing everything right by snacking on mixed nuts daily. What she didn't know was that hidden among them was a silent killer. Soon her heart began fluttering erratically. Painful inflammation flared in her joints, making even simple tasks excruciating. She brushed it off as age-related decline until a routine checkup revealed a staggering truth. Her bad cholesterol had shot through the roof, and her arteries were dangerously clogged. The cause: one type of nut had tipped her omega-6 levels into a perilous imbalance, igniting chronic inflammation and silently damaging her heart. Only after removing this one toxic nut from her diet did Susan's health dramatically rebound. But the lesson came at a near fatal cost. Are you willing to gamble with your life? The risks are horrifyingly real. After age 65, your body becomes a fragile ecosystem teetering on the brink of catastrophe. Every bite counts, every snack can either heal or harm. Imagine unknowingly consuming harmful molds, artery-clogging fats, and inflammatory agents that creep silently into your bloodstream, triggering hidden disasters. Don't wait until you're gasping for breath in an ambulance at midnight, your family praying desperately beside you to finally pay attention. Act now. In this shocking expose, you'll discover exactly which four nuts can rescue your health, and the sinister four that could drag you into a health nightmare. Real-life accounts, harrowing health crises, and scientific revelations await. You'll never view your pantry the same way again. Finally, brace yourself for a horrifying revelation about a seemingly healthy nut you might be consuming daily. A nut quietly poisoning your body from the inside out. Stay alert, listen closely, and save yourself before your next snack seals your fate. The Hook revisited why ignoring this could lead to a heart crisis. Imagine this: you've just finished dinner and decide to snack on a small bowl of mixed nuts while watching late-night television. You do it every day, convinced that nuts are nature's health food. But unbeknownst to you, the blend includes items that can elevate blood pressure, clog arteries over time, or even influence your mental faculties. For an older adult, the cumulative effect is lethal. That leisurely snack might be fueling your next major heart crisis or an accelerated mental decline. A slight slip in memory here, a spike in blood pressure there. These are not random quirks of aging, but potential red flags of a deeper dietary mistake. The scariest part is how subtle it all feels. You'll likely notice no immediate chest pain or dramatic wave of fatigue. The damage proceeds behind the scenes. Blood vessels stiffen, inflammatory molecules multiply, and your system's defenses become unsteady. The moment you realize something is horribly wrong might be when the paramedics rush you to an emergency ward. Don't let that happen. Hear these insights, make the necessary changes, and consult your physician for personalized advice. The threat is real and the clock is ticking. Here, chato. A patient's tale. Bob's brush with danger. To clarify just how real the threat is, consider Bob L., a 68-year-old who had spent most of his retirement doing volunteer work at a local library. Bob believed that simply swapping candy bars for nuts was an amazing improvement. He'd enjoy salted peanuts and roasted cashews in large quantities. At first, he felt great pride in his healthy shift. Within 6 months, however, Bob noticed frequent indigestion and odd pains in his joints. Blood tests revealed elevated inflammatory markers, and his doctor pointed to one suspect: nuts loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, excessive sodium, and hidden contaminants. By pivoting to more balanced and nutrient-dense nuts and limiting the quantity, Bob managed to bring those markers down. But the shock of discovering that so-called healthy nuts could trigger so many issues rattled him. If you think your body's invulnerable, think again. The science behind nuts and aging. Now let's get scientific. Why does it matter so much which nut you eat if you're over 65? The body's natural defenses begin to wane. Metabolic rates slow, and inflammation can ramp up more easily, especially if you have underlying conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes. According to the World Health Organization WHO 2015, global health and aging older adults face not just a higher incidence of chronic disease, but also more complications from nutritional imbalances. Things as simple as your ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats can tilt the body toward or away from prolonged inflammation. Meanwhile, a well-known cardiology paper published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology 2017 found that certain nuts correlate strongly with improved lipid profiles, while others can nudge up bad cholesterol. The research confirmed that not all nuts are equal, especially for seniors who need to watch their cardiovascular markers like a hawk. The findings also tie into how certain nuts may cause or worsen insulin resistance in individuals who are either diabetic or borderline diabetic. Moreover, Harvard T.H. Chan, School of Public Health, Harvard T.H. Chan 2019, Nutrition and Longevity Study has emphasized that while nuts in general can be a good source of healthy fats and protein, the type and preparation method, e.g., raw, roasted, salted, drastically influences their overall impact on heart health, joint health, and cognitive function. When you're over 65, you can't just toss any variety into your mouth without a second thought. You need strategic picks that offer robust nutritional profiles without hidden pitfalls. Let's also bring in an authority who has focused extensively on plant-based nutrition, Dr. Michael Greger, Greger 2020, How Not to Diet reference. He underscores that certain nuts, due to their polyphenol content and synergy of vitamins, can provide critical benefits to an aging body. Conversely, nuts laden with mold toxins, enzyme inhibitors, or an imbalanced fatty acid composition can systematically compromise your health if consumed regularly. The bottom line is that for seniors, the right nuts can stabilize your metabolic processes, guard against neuronal damage, and keep your circulatory system robust. The wrong nuts, however, can pave the way for heart emergencies, compromise liver and kidney function, or even hamper your medication regimens if you're on certain prescription drugs. Now that we've established the seriousness and the science, let's dive into the specifics, which are the 4 nuts that bolster a senior's health and which 4 are best avoided. Doc 4 nuts you must eat after 65. We'll begin with the good news. These are the nuts you want in your pantry if you're serious about fortifying bones, improving cognition, and shielding your heart from catastrophic breakdown. However, even the best nuts must be eaten in sensible portions. Overindulgence can create its own set of problems, so keep that in mind. 1. Almonds, the bone-fortifying ally. Almonds deserve a place at the top of your grocery list because they marry a broad range of nutrients, calcium, magnesium, vitamin E, into a single compact package. As we age, our bones tend to become more fragile due to declining calcium absorption. For older adults, fractures can be devastating, leading to prolonged recovery times and a cascade of health setbacks. Almonds step in by supplying approximately 97 millimolar of calcium per quarter cup. That may sound modest, but it adds up over time, particularly when you incorporate almonds into a well-rounded diet. But there's more. According to a study from Tufts University 2018 antioxidant research in aging almonds, with their skins on, contain flavonoids that, when combined with vitamin E, double their antioxidant capacity. This synergy helps fend off oxidative damage to cells, including neurons and other tissues, frequently battered by everyday stressors. And if you're worried about heart hazards, the monounsaturated fats in almonds can help nudge down bad LDL cholesterol, crucial for seniors already struggling with borderline or high cholesterol. Why is magnesium so crucial in this conversation? Because magnesium helps shuttle calcium into bones rather than letting it accumulate in the arteries. Seniors often have low magnesium levels, sometimes due to medication side effects or reduced dietary intake, which can make bones weaker and arteries more prone to plaque. By choosing almonds as a snack, you provide your body with the raw materials it needs for healthy bones and hearts. From a practical standpoint, aim for 15-20 almonds per day. Keep them plain, skip the added salt or sugar. If you have difficulty swallowing, consider slicing or chopping them to avoid choking. Almond butter is another alternative, but check the ingredient list for minimal additives. Make almonds a consistent part of your routine, and over weeks and months, watch for improvements in your energy bone, strength, and overall vitality. 2 walnuts, the mind-boosting powerhouse. If you've ever looked at a walnut half, you might have noticed it resembles the human brain. This is more than just a quirky fact. Walnuts are top tier when it comes to supporting cognitive function. The secret lies in their plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid (ALA) research, published in the Journal of Nutrition 2019, demonstrated that seniors who had even 1 5 ounces of walnuts daily improved their processing speed and mental flexibility over an 8-week period. For older adults worried about Alzheimer's or dementia, walnuts offer yet another layer of defense. Polyphenolic compounds in walnuts appear to cross the blood-brain barrier, helping to quell neuroinflammation. In simpler terms, they can dampen the small but persistent fires that spark within aging brain tissue. This property has enormous implications for staving off memory lapses and the early signs of degenerative cognitive conditions. Walnuts also carry extra perks for seniors with sleep disruptions. They contain melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep-wake cycles. Many people experience falling melatonin levels as they age, leading to restless nights or insomnia. Try a small handful of walnuts in the evening and see if your slumber improves. Additionally, these nuts provide arginine, an amino acid that promotes blood vessel flexibility, a boon for those battling high blood pressure. Keep your walnuts in the fridge or freezer to preserve their delicate oils, and aim for 7 to 9 walnut halves a day. 3. Pistachios, the unsung blood pressure hero. Pistachios don't always get top billing in discussions about healthy nuts, but for seniors grappling with hypertension, they can be nothing short of miraculous. Potassium is abundant in pistachios, around 285 millimoles per serving, and potassium helps regulate fluid balance in the body, thereby reducing the strain on the cardiovascular system. The kicker is that pistachios are relatively low in sodium, which counters the all-too-common salt overload in modern diets. In addition, pistachios contain lutein and zeaxanthin carotenoids that concentrate in the retina and defend against age-related macular degeneration. Vision loss is a major quality of life issue for older adults, and taking proactive nutritional steps to preserve sight is crucial. Pistachios are also a bit gentler on aging teeth compared to some harder nuts. Their texture is firm, but not break-your-crown hard. An often overlooked aspect of pistachios is the built-in portion control. If you buy them in the shell, you're forced to slow down as you eat, reducing the chance of overeating. The International Journal of Obesity 2012 even reported that seeing the shells in front of you provides a visual cue that can curb mindless consumption. For seniors who deal with arthritis in their hands, you can find pistachios that are partially opened, making them easier to shell. Shoot for around 1 ounce of unsalted or lightly salted pistachios, daily about 49 kernels. If you're monitoring blood sugar, know that the fiber content in pistachios can also help stabilize glucose levels. 4. Brazil nuts, the thyroid support superstar. Brazil nuts might not be as commonplace in your snack rotation, but they're an unparalleled source of selenium, a trace mineral that bolsters thyroid function. Thyroid disorders can creep up in older populations, sometimes masquerading as ordinary signs of aging fatigue, brittle hair weight fluctuations. A single Brazil nut can deliver around 96 micrograms of selenium over the daily recommended intake for most adults. Selenium in Brazil nuts is organically bound, meaning it's exceptionally bioavailable compared to synthetic supplements. When your thyroid receives ample selenium, it can more efficiently regulate metabolism, energy levels, and mood. Beyond thyroid health, Brazil nuts contain unique fatty acids that help maintain the protective myelin sheath around nerve cells. Seniors often notice slower reflexes and compromised nerve function. Consuming a small number of Brazil nuts each day can help mitigate that decline. For safety, cap your intake at 1 or 2. Brazil nuts daily. Excessive selenium can lead to toxicity if you binge on them. These nuts also lend themselves to convenient snacking. Crack them fresh if you can, because the shell preserves nutrients longer. Their buttery taste makes them a luxurious treat. But remember, moderation is your best friend. The four nuts seniors should never touch. Now we venture into perilous territory. These four nuts can pose serious risks when consumed frequently by older adults. Keep in mind the negative consequences might not show up overnight. Rather, they accumulate over weeks, months, or years until a tipping point is reached. By then, reversing the damage can be an uphill battle. Let's examine each culprit in detail. 1. Peanuts, the mold-infested imposter. First on the avoid at all costs list are peanuts, which are actually legumes, not true nuts. Their underground growth pattern makes them vulnerable to mold contamination, specifically aflatoxins, mycotoxins that can compromise liver function and even escalate cancer risk. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, aflatoxin contamination is especially dangerous for people with weakened detoxification mechanisms, a category many seniors fall into simply because of age-related declines in liver and kidney function. Beyond mold toxins, peanuts also carry proteins that can incite low-level inflammatory responses in individuals who aren't clinically allergic but still sensitive. When you're over 65, chronic inflammation is the last thing you want to add to your plate, as it can exacerbate cardiovascular troubles, arthritic pains, and even mental deterioration. The prevalent use of peanuts in commercial snack products, often laced with hydrogenated oils, excess sugar and salt, further elevates their risk factor. A lesser-known issue is that peanuts contain vitamin K, which can interact with blood thinners like warfarin. Seniors on such medications may find their dosage less effective or dangerously fluctuating if they consume large quantities of peanuts. Add the potential for acrylamide formation when peanuts are roasted at high temperatures, and you have a potent cocktail of health threats that older adults would do well to dodge too. Cashews, the hidden sugar bomb. Cashews often feature in healthy snack mixes, but they carry a higher carbohydrate load than many other nuts, about 9 grams per ounce. This might not alarm you if you're in your 20s or 30s, but once you pass 65, particularly if you're among the 25% of seniors with diabetes or 48% with prediabetes, this can pose a significant burden. Cashews can spike blood sugar levels more than you'd expect for something labeled a nut. Another sneaky issue is their content of oxalates, compounds that bind to calcium and hinder its absorption. Older adults already struggle with bone density and are prone to kidney stones. The high oxalate content in cashews can compound those problems. Processing methods are also a concern. Cashews must undergo steps to remove a toxic substance called urushiol, the same compound found in poison ivy and in mass production. These steps can degrade the nut's nutritional value. Cashews are deceptively easy to overeat because of their creamy texture. Seniors might find themselves munching on handful after handful, inadvertently driving up caloric and carbohydrate intake. For those already struggling with weight management, the extra calories can quickly add up. If you're used to keeping a bag of cashews within arm's reach, it might be time to switch to more nutrient-dense, lower-carb options, like walnuts or almonds. 3. Macadamia nuts. The calorie-dense trap. No one can argue that macadamias don't taste heavenly. Their rich, buttery flavor is practically iconic, yet they come with some serious red flags for older adults. For starters, macadamias top the charts in calorie density at around 200 calories per ounce. Over time, routinely consuming such calorically dense items can lead to weight gain, which presents heightened risks to seniors dealing with slowing metabolisms and reduced muscle mass. Additionally, macadamias contain around 3 grams of saturated fat per ounce, more than most other nuts. High saturated fat intake can be particularly detrimental for those with existing cholesterol issues. Another overlooked concern is gallbladder strain. Roughly 15% of seniors have asymptomatic gallstones, and a high-fat diet can provoke painful gallbladder flare-ups. Practical considerations also come into play. Macadamias can be quite hard and pose a threat to individuals with delicate or damaged teeth. Further, many commercial varieties come doused in salt or coated in oils, adding to the overall health burden. If you're on a budget cheaper, macadamias might be poorly stored or close to rancid, increasing the likelihood of consuming oxidized fats that further exacerbate inflammation. In short, while macadamias may be an occasional indulgence, they shouldn't be an everyday snack in your golden years. 4. Pine nuts, the medication disruptor. Pine nuts might seem harmless, tiny, often used in pesto, popular in gourmet dishes. However, they harbor chemical compounds that can wreak havoc on common medications prescribed to seniors. Statins, certain antidepressants, and blood pressure drugs are among the many prescriptions that may lose efficacy or produce dangerous side effects when interacting with pine nuts. Given that the average senior often takes multiple prescriptions, the potential for detrimental drug-food interactions is huge. Beyond this, pine nuts are prone to causing pine nut syndrome, characterized by a bitter or metallic taste that can last for weeks. This might sound minor, but in older adults, a persistent, unpleasant taste can erode appetite, leading to nutritional deficiencies. Research suggests that up to 42% of those experiencing pine nut syndrome report significant weight loss. Clinical case studies in Food Sensitivities, 2016. When you're older, unwanted weight fluctuations can quickly spiral into muscle wasting and compromised immune function. Pine nuts also contain high levels of polyunsaturated fats that oxidize rapidly. Oxidized fats are linked to inflammatory processes, and seniors often struggle to keep systemic inflammation in check. Combine that with the small, slippery shape of pine nuts, an aspiration hazard for individuals with swallowing difficulties, and you have a host of reasons to be extremely cautious. Given all these concerns, it may be best to remove pine nuts from your diet if you're 65 or older. The missing spark, your 7-day nut challenge. Often the biggest shortfall in mainstream health advice is that it fails to emphasize a compelling next step. People might learn about nutrients and dangers, but they don't have a clear roadmap to implement change. That's where our 7-day challenge comes in. Over the next week, try the following. 1 Day 1, pantry purge. Go through your kitchen cabinets, remove or isolate any peanuts, cashews, macadamias, or pine nuts. If you share a home with others, label these off limits for yourself. 2 Day 2, stock up on essentials purchase. A fresh batch of almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts. Remember that moderation is key. Don't buy them in massive bulk. Smaller quantities keep you mindful of freshness. 3 Day 3 meal integration. Add a small serving of almonds to your breakfast routine. Whether sprinkled on cereal or blended into oatmeal, take note of any differences in your digestion and energy levels. 4 Day 4, mindful snacking. Incorporate walnuts for an afternoon pick-me-up. Pay attention to mental clarity. Do you feel more focused? 5 Day 5, vision check. Use pistachios as a midday treat. Jot down whether you notice any improvements in headaches or eye strain, especially if you're reading or watching TV. 6 Day 6, thyroid boost. Eat 1 or 2 Brazil nuts. Notice if your mood or energy shifts the next morning, though some benefits take time. 7 Day 7, reflect and refine. Evaluate how you feel overall. Are you less bloated, more energetic? Have you experienced steadier blood pressure readings? Decide which nuts you want to keep as daily staples. After 7 days, share your experience with a friend or on social media. Challenge them to do the same. Small, consistent steps can yield monumental results. If at any point you feel unusual symptoms, consult your physician immediately. This challenge is intended as a general guideline, not a replacement for personalized medical advice. Another true story, Maria's joint pain relief. Take the case of Maria, a 70-year-old retired accountant who managed advanced osteoarthritis. Her knees and hands were so swollen some mornings that she'd struggle to grip a pen or climb a short flight of stairs. Maria assumed she was just getting old and accepted her painful limitations as inevitable. However, after learning about inflammatory triggers in certain nuts, she decided to eliminate peanuts and cashews from her daily snacks, replacing them with almonds and a few Brazil nuts. Within a month, her doctor noted lower inflammatory markers, and Maria reported less stiffness in her joints. Though she still needs her arthritis medication, the synergy of better dietary choices and proper care allowed her to regain some mobility and comfort. This story isn't meant to promise miracles. Rather, it demonstrates that even modest shifts in your snack routine can stack the odds in your favor. Once again, always maintain open communication with your healthcare provider. Never stop or change prescribed treatments without professional supervision. Tordio. Action plan for long-term success. A short challenge is great for kickstarting new habits. But what about the next few months or years? Use this checklist to lay down a stable foundation. One portion control. Aim for a handful or around an ounce of nuts once or twice a day. Overdoing it can lead to weight gain and nutrient imbalances. Two, rotate types. Don't stick to the same nut day after day. Vary between almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts to get a full spectrum of nutrients. Three, storage matters. Keep nuts in sealed containers in a cool, dry place. Refrigerate or freeze those high in polyunsaturated fats like walnuts to prevent rancidity. Four, mind interactions. If you're on prescription medications, blood thinners, statins, antidepressants, stay vigilant. Discuss possible interactions with your physician or pharmacist. CUI, watch for symptoms. Keep a small journal to track any changes in digestion, joint pain, or energy levels. If you notice a negative trend after introducing or reintroducing a certain nut, dial it back or eliminate it. 6, focus on raw or dry roasted varieties. Flavored salted or candied nuts often contain unhealthy additives. Check ingredient lists carefully for excessive sodium, sugar, or preservatives. 7, respect your limits. Seniors sometimes struggle with chewing or swallowing. Chop, slice, or grind nuts if necessary. Nut butters are an option, but ensure minimal added oils and sugar. Take these steps as guardrails for a healthier future. No single food determines your health, but consistent patterns do. If you're methodical, patient, and mindful, you can harness the nutritional power of the right nuts while dodging the pitfalls of the wrong ones. Have you ever noticed this sign? Have you ever noticed this sign? Comment, "I feel it," if you relate, "I'm safe." If not, and add a question for the doctor. When do you experience unexpected joint aches, gut discomfort, or sudden spikes in blood pressure? It might be tied to something as unassuming as a particular nut lurking in your kitchen. Your feedback could help others avoid a health scare they never saw coming. Open up in the comments and let's see how many people share your story or concerns. Additional tips: 24-hour accelerator. If a full week seems daunting, try our 24-hour accelerator. Within a single day, cut out peanuts and cashews entirely. Replace them with a measured serving of walnuts and pistachios. Track how you feel: energy, mood, digestion over the next 24 hours. While you won't reverse years of damage overnight, you might notice less bloating or an unexpected boost of focus. This micro-experiment can motivate you to commit to longer-term changes. Calcarini. Expert insights. What the pros say to further solidify your resolve. Here are 3 key expert opinions on the matter. 1, Dr. Michael Greger, nutrition expert, 2020, How Not to Diet. Plant-based sources of healthy fats are invaluable, but it's crucial to distinguish between varieties that fuel wellness and those that can be detrimental when consumed uncritically. 2, Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, 2019 Nutrition and Longevity Study. The overall profile of dietary fats, vitamins, and minerals differs sharply among nuts. For older populations, moderation and type of nut consumed are particularly significant. 3, World Health Organization, 2015 Global Health and Aging. Age-related physiological changes demand that seniors pay extra attention to food choices. Proper nutrient intake can mitigate chronic disease risks and enhance quality of life. Keep these statements in mind as you ponder your next grocery store haul. The scientific consensus underscores that certain nuts in moderation can profoundly improve well-being, whereas careless consumption of unfavorable nuts can accelerate chronic diseases in older adults. Deeper dive: how nuts impact blood pressure and cholesterol. You might be wondering exactly how a tiny morsel can influence something as systemic as blood pressure or cholesterol. The secret lies in the type of fats and secondary plant compounds they carry. Almonds and walnuts, for example, are brimming with monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats that assist in clearing out LDL, bad cholesterol. They also hold on to valuable antioxidants that can reduce arterial stiffness. On the other hand, peanuts, especially when roasted or processed, can deliver a heavy load of omega-6 fats, tipping the balance toward pro-inflammatory pathways. For seniors already coping with borderline high blood pressure, this inflammatory cascade can further narrow blood vessels. Over time, the interplay of chronic inflammation and high blood pressure can pave the way for a serious cardiac meltdown. It's also vital to mention the role of fiber. Nuts that supply ample fiber, like pistachios and almonds, help regulate digestion and keep your gut microbiome in good shape. Since your microbiome has its own effect on blood pressure regulation and overall inflammation, a fiber-rich snack can become a stealth ally in the battle against hypertension. Again, not all nuts are equal in their fiber content, and those that do have fiber can lose some benefits if drenched in salt or sugar. Managing cognitive decline. A nut strategy. Cognitive decline is among the top fears as we age, with concerns about dementia or Alzheimer's overshadowing even heart disease for some. According to the Alzheimer's Association, while no single food can immunize you against such conditions, certain nutrients can bolster brain function. Walnuts with their alpha-linolenic acid and polyphenols stand out for providing direct support to neurons. Meanwhile, peanuts or pine nuts that risk contamination or negative drug interactions could indirectly hamper mental sharpness over time. If your memory lapses are frequent or you experience brain fog, consider swapping out any questionable nuts and introducing walnuts, pistachios, or a moderate portion of Brazil nuts. This is not a cure-all. It's a supportive measure in a broader lifestyle strategy that should also include regular exercise, mental stimulation, and personalized medical supervision. Case study: Hank's medication. Mix-up Hank, 74, had been on a statin for years to manage his cholesterol, and he occasionally took an antidepressant. Despite following his medication schedule religiously, he saw minimal improvements. When Hank's doctor took a closer look at his diet, they discovered a fondness for pine nuts. His homemade pesto was legendary among friends, but nobody realized pine nuts could interfere with his prescriptions. By drastically reducing pine nut consumption and rechecking his medication levels, Hank finally saw his cholesterol move into safer territory. Just another reminder that hidden factors, like a handful of the wrong nut, can stall or sabotage your health goals. When to consult your physician. A crucial warning: while these guidelines are grounded in scientific research, they are not a personalized medical prescription. Seniors often have multiple conditions: hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, and more that make their situation complex. If you notice unusual symptoms, such as sudden rashes, extreme fatigue, or worsening blood pressure after changing your nut consumption, see your doctor immediately. Adjusting medication and dietary plans should always be done in concert with medical professionals, especially if you already have a complicated regimen. If you're uncertain whether you have an underlying thyroid issue, liver concern, or gallbladder stones, request tests. Simple blood panels and imaging can offer vital insights. The last thing you want is to self-diagnose or self-medicate based on a single video. Use this information as a springboard, but let a qualified physician confirm the best path forward. Ishfarin. Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. 1. Over-relying on one nut. Even healthy nuts like almonds can become problematic if you eat them excessively. Diversify your snack choices. 2. Neglecting preparation methods. Roasted, salted, or flavored varieties can introduce harmful oils. Sodium and sugar stick to raw or dry roasted. 3. Ignoring expiration dates. Nuts can go rancid. Developing harmful compounds. Always check storage instructions and sniff for off odors. 4. Assuming all nut. Butters are the same. Peanut butter might be affordable but also riskier. Opt for almond butter or other alternatives with minimal additives. 5. Failing to address swallowing challenges. Seniors with dysphagia or partial dentures may be more prone to choking. Chop or grind nuts or switch to carefully sourced nut flours. Steer clear of these traps and you'll be well on your way to reaping the benefits of nuts while steering clear of the hazards. Your questions, your voice. Do you suspect a particular nut has been causing you problems? Or do you have a success story of how a dietary switch improved your blood pressure, joint pain, or cognitive health? Your input can help someone else in a similar predicament. Have you ever noticed this sign? Comment "I feel it" if you relate "I'm safe." If not, and add a question for the doctor. Sharing experiences is especially valuable for older adults who might believe they're alone in these health battles. Let's build a community of informed seniors who take proactive steps to maintain vigor, mental clarity, and emotional well-being. Additional strategies for healthy aging. Stay hydrated. Water is often overlooked, But without adequate hydration, even the best diet can falter as nutrients won't circulate optimally. Pair nuts with fruits or vegetables. Enhance nutrient absorption and diversify your micronutrient intake. For instance, a handful of almonds with a side of fresh berries can help regulate blood sugar and provide a broad range of antioxidants. Practice safe chewing. If your jaw is weak or you use dentures, consider soaking almonds or walnuts overnight to soften them. This can make digestion easier and reduce the choking hazard. Nausea. Monitor sodium intake, especially crucial if you have high blood pressure. Opt for unsalted nuts and watch out for seasoned variants loaded with hidden salt. Lifestyle integration. Use short walks or light exercise to amplify the circulatory benefits of a healthy diet. Even 20 minutes of gentle movement daily can transform how your body handles nutrients. Kiriwainayo. Frequently asked questions. FAQQ. Can I ever enjoy peanuts or cashews again? Occasional indulgences won't necessarily endanger you if you're in good health and have no known sensitivities. However, if you're over 65 and dealing with chronic conditions, it's safer to replace them with better alternatives. Consult your physician for personalized advice. QR. Nut oils like walnut oil also beneficial. Nut oils can deliver some nutrients, but they often lack the fiber and some of the beneficial compounds found in whole nuts. Plus, oils can be highly concentrated in fats. Always check for heat processing methods that can degrade nutritional value. I'm on multiple prescriptions. How do I avoid dangerous interactions? Keep an updated list of your medications and share it with your healthcare provider, including any supplements or dietary habits. Mention that you're consuming certain nuts regularly so your doctor can alert you to possible interactions. What if I'm allergic to tree nuts? Nut allergies can be life-threatening. If you're allergic, consult your doctor before experimenting with new varieties. Some seeds like sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds may serve as safer nutritional alternatives. Kuninaksan. Recap and final takeaways. We've navigated a maze of facts, personal stories, scientific research, and actionable steps. By now, you should realize how pivotal nut choices are in your senior years. In case you need a quick memory jog, here are the core points. 1. Certain nuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, Brazil nuts can fortify your bones, improve cognitive function, and enhance thyroid or cardiovascular health. 2. Other nuts, peanuts, cashews, macadamias. Pine nuts carry multiple risks ranging from hidden molds and excessive carbohydrates to drug interactions and gallbladder flare-ups. 3. Moderation is king. Even the best nuts can become health hazards if consumed in large quantities or prepared poorly. If you found this information helpful, remember to smash the like button, subscribe, and share this video with friends and family. You never know who might be on the brink of a health crisis that a simple dietary tweak could avert. Final question. Now that you've learned how nuts can be both protective and dangerous, what's the one question that still nags at you about your dietary habits? Drop your query below and let's keep this conversation going. Your curiosity could spark a life-changing revelation for someone else. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and always consult your physician before making any drastic dietary or medical changes. Your future well-being may hinge on choices you make at the snack bowl today,